Starting, yeah? Okay. Relax. Allahu Akbar. No. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وحبيبي سيدنا محمد حبيبي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا بما ينفعنا ونفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا متقبلا إليك رب العالمين. نويت التعلم والتعليم والتذكر والتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم والدعاء إلى الهدى والدلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى. فاتحة لحضرة النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام بنية الفتح. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Alhamdulillah. How are you all? Everybody well? Alhamdulillah. Allah bless you for coming. Allah put barakah in your fasting. Allah put barakah in your Ramadan. SubhanAllah. Nearly a quarter of Ramadan has nearly just flowed by. Allahu Akbar. Ya marhaban. So the task today is to speak about the limbs, the sins of the limbs. It's a really important subject actually. I think it's one that is sort of neglected and not understood clearly, and not its values not given perhaps. And so we said we're going to look at the detriment of sin, okay, to a Muslim, and then also the marvels of the heart. And you can see detriment of the sin, okay, or detriment of sin and the marvels of the heart, because they're connected, you see. In summary, we're going to say sin has a lasting, it damages the state, the heart of a human being. A sin, a guna, okay? Fine, leave them, that's fine, relax. So sin is dangerous. Okay, sin is very dangerous because sins harm the heart. We're also going to say limbs are important here, sins of the limbs, because the limbs are the doorways, okay, into the heart. Okay, they're the passage into the heart. So it's really, really important, right, to protect yourself and protect your limbs from sinning, and by doing that you protect your heart, because the greatest thing that you possess. And so, in summary, it's going to be something like this. So, and this is exactly why this ayah is displayed in front of you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم وأزلفت الجنة للمتقين وبرزت الجحيم للغاوين. This is a verse in Surah Al-Shu'ara, the poets. Okay? Allah says, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ, the day when neither wealth will benefit nor will sons or children. Okay? إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ, except he who presented himself before Allah with a sound heart. Okay? The only thing that will benefit on that day is a sound heart, an unblemished heart. Now it's trying to find out, what does an unblemished heart look like? Okay, and on that day, Yawm al-Qiyamah, this is the greatest thing that you can possess. Okay. وَأُزْلِفَتِ الْجَنَّةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, and Jannah, okay, will be brought close to the pious, okay, Ahlullah, the people of Taqwa. This very month, right, it's about Taqwa, isn't it? Why? Because that's what gets you into Jannah. Okay, And that's what it's about, because that's who Jannah is for. وَبُرِّزَتِ الْجَحِيمُ لِلْغَاوِينَ. And Jahannam, okay, or Jahannam and Al-Jahim, the fire, okay, will be revealed for the astray. So the point of this ayah is that إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. Ayah number 89, Surah Al-Shu'ara, okay. Sound how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is the same ayah, okay, just highlighting a sound heart, okay. And then you've got the famous hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, narrated by Imam Tirmidhi, and Abu Hurairah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam قال إن العبد, okay, إن العبد إذا أخطأ خطيئة, okay, نكتت في قلبه نكتة سوداء فإذا هو نزع واستغفر وتاب سقل قلبه وإن عاد زيد فيها حتى تعلو قلبه وهو الران الذي ذكر الله. Allah says in the Quran, كلا بل ران على قلوبهم ما كانوا يكسبون. In this hadith of the Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala narrates that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, verily when the servant commits a sin, okay, right, a black mark appears upon his heart, a nuktatun sawda, okay. If he abandons the sin, these are like, look the prerequisite of tawbah. Stop doing what you're doing. Seeks forgiveness, astaghfirullah, okay, and repents, make tawbah to Allah, never do it again, okay. Then his heart will be polished. Okay, it becomes polished, okay, purified, right? If he returns to the sin, the blackness will be increased until it overcomes his heart. Get it? Go back to the sin again, black dot, black dot, black dot, black dot. Eh? The dots overcomes. You see a good example is the gas cooker. You know, and make desi cha, and so the curry is flying around everywhere, right? Okay, those. If you leave it, and students, when you were, I don't know, at uni or you're going to go to uni, you're going to find, if you don't maintain it, it just goes, get it, it's dirty, it's grimy, very difficult to break down and so forth. So here, it becomes a layer over this wonderful, beautiful gas cooker that you had bought originally, lime scale, same you find in kettles and so forth, okay? This is why it's important to maintain cleanliness. It's important, okay? It's important to stay on top of this tawbah, and keeping your heart pure, all astaghfirullah, all the time, okay? And it's not just about the tongue, because a lot of people think it's just about the tongue. I say astaghfirullah done. No, that's not the only way you sin. That's not the only way that your heart becomes dead. Okay, the only way that your heart gets these black dots. There's lots of these avenues. Okay, lots of avenues. So we'll look at this. And so here, it is the covering that Allah has mentioned. No, kalla, bal rana, rather a covering is over their hearts, okay, from what they have. And so it's a result, that covering that comes over the heart. Sometimes somebody sees something, hears something, and they're moved by Allah. Their hearts move. You see at janazas, for some people, they see somebody sick, they start crying. Somebody sees somebody with injury, Ya Latif. Some have to see janazah, some have to wash the dead, some have to bury, some have to lie down in a grave. In a grave. There's a man put a video out in the beginning of Ramadan. Beautiful videos, one good forward actually. I think it's in Urdu. No, it's in Arabic. So he deals with the dead all the time. And he goes, I'm waiting for a janazah to arrive. Because wallahi, but this grave, Ya Latif. He's standing in the grave. Because this grave is scary. Then he lies down in the grave. You can see this camera is lying down. Because this is the view they get. Yes. Ibrana, the Salihin would find ways to make this heart, find a way to move this heart. Your heart is alive. Allah. Your heart dies. The greatest thing you possess, okay, the heart. And this hadith becomes the basis. So again, that ayah of okay, right? Only on the day Yawm al-Qiyamah, la yanfa mal wala banun. Nothing will be of any benefit. The only thing you take with you is your heart. It's the only thing you take with you, right? So here, now, sin blackens the heart, it darkens the heart, okay? So this is what it does, okay? This is what it does. So now, this black spot, Imam Mawlud, I'm going to look at this in a bit, but I just want to show you some examples, right? Okay, this is a wonderful book I picked up from Damascus, and I remember where I bought it from, alhamdulillah. And it was compiled, I'll try and tell you the price, it's 250 liras, which is about £2. Actually, right now, £1.50. Allah, £1.50 for a book. And it's وَأُنِيبُوا إِلَىٰ رَبِّكُمْ وَأَسْلِمُوا لَهُ, and flee back to your Lord, okay, and submit yourself to your Lord. This was a book compiled by Shaykh Samir's teacher, Shaykh Muhammad Abu Yusuf ibn Abidin, rahimahullah ta'ala. He's the Grand Mufti of Damascus. And he put a book together where he brings different topics, okay, and you know, like Ma'siyah and Tawbah and so forth. When I first came to Wickham, this was my lifesaver. I came to Wickham and I had to give these talks, and I didn't know what to talk to the Wickham people about, right? So I used to use this book all the time. And my, you know, that 27th night, this is the lifesaver. Yeah, you pull this one out, and all the stories come out, and all about the pious people. You can't but be moved by the stories of great awliya of Allah. You get it? Because their stories are beautiful. And so here he said, he brings this. He goes, "Atharu ma'asiyatillahi ta'ala rasulih." The athar, okay, the effect that sin leaves, okay, sinning against God and His Prophet leaves on the soul. Yeah. So he goes, وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ ضَلَالًا مُبِينًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Ahzab, verse number 36, okay, whoever does sin against Allah and His Rasul, okay, verily they are misguided, a clear, manifest misguidance. You know, the worst thing you can do is go against the rule of the command of Allah and His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Remember, here you got to know what the command of God and His Prophet is. If you don't learn, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know. This is why knowledge becomes imperative. And then he says, وقال تعالى in Surah Al-Jinn, okay, وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَإِنَّ لَهُ نَارَ جَهَنَّمَ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا. Verse 32a, and whoever sins against Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for verily for them or for him is nar jahannam, the fire of hell, khalidina fiha abada, living in it forever. Then he says, la ta'sillah, right? He has this, because Sulaiman ibn Abdul Malik, he said to Humayd al-Tawil, he said, give me some advice, idni, okay. Qala ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, O leader of faithful or believers, he said, in kunta asayta Allah ta'ala, said, if you had sinned against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَظَنَنْتَ, and you thought, أَنَّهُ يَرَاكَ, okay, and when you sinned against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and at that moment, at that time, when you committed the sin, right, you remembered that He was watching you, and He saw that sin, okay, you remembered that. He goes, فَقَدْ اجْتَرَأْتَ عَلَىٰ رَبٍّ عَظِيمٍ, okay, then you have insulted the mighty Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, that you sinned whilst, okay, being aware that Allah is watching you. Because sometimes that can happen, right? Sometimes you sin against Allah, you completely forget. And sometimes you know it's wrong and you carry on doing it. Okay. وَإِن كُنْتَ تَظُنُّ أَنَّهُ لَا يَرَاكَ فَقَدْ كَفَرْتَ بِرَبٍّ كَرِيمٍ. And if you sin thinking that He doesn't see you, then this is kufr, disbelief. Okay. The most magnanimous, kind Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. He goes, yuhka, and Sirius Saqati, it's mentioned about Sirius Saqati, Quddisa Sirruhu, may his secret be sanctified. Annahu qala, that he said, Qultu yawman, I said one day, Ajibtu min da'ifin asa rabba. How astonishing, how strange, ajib, is the matter of the weak one who sins against the Almighty, the Mighty One. Okay, he said, I said this one day. فَلَمَّا كَانَ الْغَدَى, when the next day came, okay, وَصَلَّيْتُ الْغَدَى, and I prayed the day prayer, إِذَا أَنَا بِشَاب, okay, قَدْ وَافَى وَخَلْفُهُ رُكْبَانٌ الدَّوَابِ. This young man shows up, and behind him is an entourage of people, okay? Turns up. بين يدي غلمان, he has some children around him. وهو راكب على الدابة, and he's riding on his mount. فنزل, he comes down, and he said, which one of you is Sidi Saqati? Sidi Saqati is one of the great awliya of Allah. So he said something. These words got back and reached this young man, right? فَأَوْمَأَ جُلَسَائِي إِلَيَّ, okay? فَسَلَّمَ عَلَيَّ وَجَلَسَ. So the people around him pointed him out. So he came and he sat in front of him. وَقَالَ سَمِعْتُكَ. He said, I heard you. I heard that you said, عَجِبْتُ مِنْ دَعِيبٍ. I found how strange is the matter of the weak one who sins against the mighty. فَمَا أَرَدْتَ بِهِ. What did you mean by that? فَقُلْتُ مَا دَعِيفٌ أَضْعَفْ مِنْ بَنِي آدَمٍ. He said, there's none who's more weaker than the son of Adam. Okay. وَلَا قَوِيٌّ أَقْوَى مِنَ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. And there's nobody more strong and mighty than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَقَدْ تَعَرَّضَ ابْنَ آدَمٍ. And Ibn Adam, the son of Adam, okay, exposes himself, okay, with his weakness, okay, via sinning, okay, against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here, sometimes what happens is certain words come from the hearts of these people and tongues of these people, and they just enter the heart. You get it? You know and I know Allah is the Almighty. And we also we hear it again and again. We're weak. Is that clear? But there's something about when these type of realities are said on the tongue of people of Allah, that they do something to the heart. And we've all had moments like this, where we hear speeches again and again and again. But straight when somebody else says it, it just seems to hit right in the heart. And it seems like that's what's happening. Okay? فَبَكَى, he started to cry. فَبَكَى, he started to cry. ثُمَّ قَالَ يَا سِرِي. He said, oh Siri, هَلْ يَقْبَلُ رَبُّكَ غَرِيقًا مِثْلِي. He goes, well, does your Lord accept somebody like me, drowned in sin like me, drenched in sin like me, okay, loser like me? قُلْتُ وَمَنْ يُنْقِذُ الْغَرْقَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Said, who can save those who are drenched in sin and drowning in sin but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Give you hope. You see, sin distances people from Allah. It is one of the most dangerous things that we have. And this is why you find Sayyidina Bilal ibn Sa'ad rahimahullah said, لا تنظر إلى صغر الخطيئة. Don't look at the small minuteness of your sin. Like, is it a minor sin? It's a little guna. I didn't do anything major. He said, وَلَكِنْ انظر إلى عظمة من عصيت. Rather look at the Almighty, the greatness, the high, the great Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is, we have to find ways around this. You get it? Because it's easy to sin. Then I don't take my sin seriously. You see, and I've got to find a way to make in my mind and my conscience that this sin is not a small sin. It's massive. Is that clear? Once I can do that, I can find a way to make it and put it in perspective, right? Then the heart starts to work. And that's a difficult one, isn't it? This is why knowledge helps. There's a lot of young people, they don't get it sometimes. Why? And you can see straight away, because they don't have knowledge of Allah, or they haven't studied. So they can't really appreciate the Lord Almighty. For somebody who's been to Umrah or Hajj or been to Arafah and you've seen those realities, right? You're in awe. You get it? You're just like, Allahu Akbar. And life as well does that to people as well. And it's tests and so forth. So here, Allahumma salli wa barik alayna. So here we have Imam Mawlud, very famous. He's known. Shaykh Hamza Yusuf has that book, Purification of the Heart. He translates and commentates on that text compiled by Imam Mawlud. So he has this book, Ma'atharat al-Qulub, literally Purification of the Heart, which you can go back and buy. It's worth getting, because what it do is it allows you to look at some of the major sins that people commit with their heart. Okay, and it's sort of, you'll be, once you get to see what type of things are there, and then you can start to sort of tick off and work through how to purify your heart. Here there's a few things mentioned on the slide, but I don't want to read all of it. It's in some ways he summarized part of the Imam Ghazali's book. Imam Ghazali's book, which is available now, okay, Revival of the Religious Sciences, translated by Sidney Mukran, and this is I think it's Serenity Press. Okay, it's a brilliant book to get. Serenity Productions, serenityproduction.co.uk. Worth getting. If you in the first few slides, let's go through this and then we'll come back to the book. He speaks about a sound heart, like we mentioned in the ayah. He said these are a heart free of character defects, okay, and spiritual blemishes. So just remind me, some of a sin of the heart. Anybody? What's the sin of the heart? What is the sin that a person commits with their heart? Jealousy, thank you very much. Okay, not lying, but jealousy. Lying with the tongue, right? Jealousy, okay? Sometimes people have rancor, isn't it? They're like, jealous is like, why has so-and-so got that and I haven't got it? Siblings can do that. Yeah, one sibling jealous of the other. It's not fair, mum, not fair. What's not fair, beta? Look, you just bought so-and-so a jumper or something else, and this sibling starts to get jealous. They forget sometimes that they've also, something was bought for them. And then, and older people do this. You get it? Someone buys a house, they get jealous. What are you jealous for? They've got no idea sometimes. Just like, what has he got it for? And in their heart, there's resentment, there's this pain, the fact that somebody else has something they don't have. Okay, very dangerous. Why is that very dangerous? Because ultimately, Allah gives who He wills, how He wills. And so if I start to question why He has and so-so has and I don't have, then you're sort of in summary questioning God. And so here, the spiritual heart. This heart is actually the spiritual heart and not the physical organ per se. Although in Islamic tradition, the spiritual heart is centered in the physical. So now I'm trying to understand what is the heart, because it's quite incredible as a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Ghazali in his book 21, The Wonders of the Heart, okay, he has a chapter on the meaning of soul, spirit, heart and intellect. So he differentiates between those four. Is that clear? Okay. The soul, ruh, okay. The spirit, okay, here meaning the nafs, okay. Soul, the nafs, the heart, okay, qalb, and the intellect, aql. These four things are different, okay, and they sort of come together and sometimes be confused between the four things. So here, the heart we're talking about is not the physical heart, but there's this great reality that's within that. So, and he alludes to how the heart is, important in every society. So he gives some examples here. We call certain types of people hard-hearted, okay? We call some soft-hearted, warm-hearted, and you find this in every single culture, okay? You have these type of statements that people, metaphors that allude to the states of the heart. So people have an agreement to that. You've also got things like heart. Somebody wears their heart on their sleeve. There's nothing to hide. They're very open. Okay? They don't have a hypocritical approach to things. Okay. Somebody moved my heart. Is that clear? Touched my heart, and so forth. So these are, quite universal. These things. Okay. Stealing one's heart, leaping for joy. Okay. Skip a beat. Okay, and so forth. And so here, very broken-hearted. Sometimes people are broken-hearted, and this is an important trait, especially when it comes to Ramadan and you're making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a great way to come to God. Okay, if you've got a heart that is broken, okay, and you turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, and then you've got the diseases of the heart. Okay. You can see here he mentions the Quran defines three types of people: al-mu'minun, okay, al-kafirun, al-munafiqun, okay, and you find the hypocrites and the kafirun are known to have certain diseases, okay, which makes them different to the believers. Okay, the biggest disease would be kufr, Okay, denying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists. You've got hearts that are alive and hearts that are dead. Okay. أَوَمَنْ كَانَ مَيْتًا فَأَحْيَيْنَاهُ وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُ نُورًا يَمْشِي بِهِ فِي النَّاسِ كمن مثله في الظلمات ليس بخارج منها كذلك زين للكافرين ما كانوا يعملون. The believers are described as people whose hearts are alive and full of light. Okay. Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises people in accordance to their hearts. And so here, having a heart that is alive is a statement or a trait praised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we want our hearts to be alive. Hearts that are alive and living, okay, and recognize these realities. And here you have the one who was dead, according to the commentators of the Quran. The one who was dead refers to having a dead heart, which God revived with the light of guidance that one may walk straight and honorably among human beings. So here it refers to somebody who was distant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a result of sin. Do you not remember when you reflect, for example, okay, days of Jahiliyyah when you were far and distant from God? Get it? Hey, what were you doing? Where were you? Okay, how did your heart feel? What is it that brought you to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What is it that brought you to establishing your prayers? What is it that led you to fasting Ramadan and changing your ways? Yeah. And you might be able to remember how the heart was and who you were hanging around with and what you were doing. Okay, and there's certain things that hearts that are alive do, and there are certain things that if people do, it kills their heart. Okay, yeah. And then you've got the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The difference between the one who remembers God and one who does not is like the difference between the living and the dead. Okay, and this is in reference to dhikr. That means dhikr gives life to the heart. Dhikr, when we're looking for food for the heart, okay, it's not going to be burgers, not going to be, organic food plays a role, by the way, healthy food, good food, depending on who prepared your food. Yeah, there's a big difference between when you eat somebody, who reads Bismillah and who has taqwa and they prepare your food, and then when you eat the food from somebody else's hand, a big difference. You should be able to taste it. And sometimes we only taste the physical, and it's sometimes good to just think, can I taste beyond this? Okay, can I taste something beyond this now? And some people do. I heard this from somebody local, subhanAllah. He said, he goes, when my brother who doesn't pray salah sacrifices a chicken, okay, my mother knows, and she says that's sacrificed by so-and-so because he's the only one who doesn't pray amongst their family. And she can taste not praying salah in the chicken. Think that Allahu Akbar. You see? So if we don't taste these things, it gives you an idea where we are. In essence, the living heart, the believer is someone whose heart is alive. While the disbeliever, someone whose heart is spiritually dead. The hypocrite, however, is someone whose heart is diseased. Okay, so here you have dead hearts, you have diseased hearts. Now, the Quran speaks of certain people with diseased hearts, okay? As a result, they were increased in their disease. Now, we've got this right in the beginning of Taraweeh, you must have heard this. Allah says, Alif, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنْزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنْزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ أُولَئِكَ عَلَى هُدًى مِّن رَّبِّهِمْ وَأُولَئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. And then you've got, after this, actually, the ayah that we're referring to comes after this, okay? Exactly when it speaks about خَتَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ وَعَلَى سَمْعِهِمْ وَعَلَى أَبْصَارِهِمْ غِشَاوَةٌ. Okay? There, they have a seal on their hearts. Okay? Some hearts have a seal. They don't see, they don't hear. Okay? Even though they might be in Mecca, they might be in the holy cities, they might be in Masjid. There's certain things that kill the heart. Okay, when the heart's dead, they don't see these realities. The Quran doesn't penetrate them. Okay, and so forth. Now, here it is. إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. So this is, and then you got في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا. Here, their hearts are sick. In their hearts they have marad, sickness. Okay, so that's mentioned in the Quran. Now, I want to read something from here. Okay, before we go back to this, Imam Ghazali, rahimahullah ta'ala, mentions in this great work of his Ihya Ulumuddin. He says the status of the heart. He says man's eminence and virtue, with which he surpasses many other creatures, lie in his disposition to know Allah, glory be to Him. This disposition, okay, is his beauty, perfection and pride in this world, and will be in the afterlife his provender and supply. He goes, however, man's disposition for gnosis, okay, ma'rifah of Allah, is through his heart rather than through any other organ. And same, this is entirely the marvel of the heart. Why is the heart the greatest limb that the human being has? Why is it the king of all limbs? Okay? It's because it's through this that people become awliya. Okay? It's through that heart, okay, and what's stored in that heart that they become these great people. It's either the heart that knows Allah and draws close to Him, and it is the heart that works and endeavors towards Allah. The other limbs and organs are merely followers and servants which the heart uses. It uses them like a master uses a slave or a ruler, his subject. So this is now important to recognize that I need to protect my heart. This is the greatest thing that I have. Is that clear? And the only way I can do that is by protecting my limbs. You see, you have something amazing in your house, you put it inside the house, and it's worth a lot. But you can't leave your front door open, and you can't leave your windows open. Okay, you can't leave your back door open. Okay, you can't afford to do that. It doesn't make sense. And this is why one of the greatest things that we have is La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. They say you're a fool. Get it? You've got your committee in your house. Get it? And you leave your back door open. Okay. You've just taken money out of the bank, or you've got gold for the wedding coming up. Okay. And you leave your front door open, and you leave your windows open, and you leave that door open, okay, and you leave it on the bed. Makes sense. And the greatest thing we have is La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. This is why it's really important. I need to protect this La kalima. How do I do this? So every time I commit a sin, I'm allowing the devil or the infiltrator to enter and harm my kalima, harm my key to Jannah. And this is why even with the children, becomes really important to teach them the detriment of sin. Yeah, because ultimately they're trying to protect this great ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is stored inside their heart. Then he said, it is the heart that is accepted by Allah when it is secure from other than Him. And it is the heart that is veiled from Allah when it is immersed in other than Him. And in reality, it is the heart that obeys Allah, exalted is He. For the acts of worship which are disseminated on the limbs are nothing but its lights. It is also the heart that disobeys and rebels against Allah, exalted is He. For the iniquities that flow through the members are nothing but its traces. Okay, so here when you see somebody committing sin, and they're committing sin on their limbs, that's because something's wrong in there. And the one who doesn't commit sin and says, nah, astaghfirullah, turns away, that's because something beautiful is happening inside there. You see? And so here you can tell, okay, from the outside. So when people say it's all about the heart, it's not important about the hijab, or it's not important whether you pray or not, you get it, Allah is all forgiving. You think, really? You see? Because all of those sins that people are committing, okay, they play a role, okay, in how they and what they do to the heart. So here, so he says. It's quite long, but I won't read all of it. But it just gives you an idea, and it's worth going back to, because he has a few chapters on this. He goes through the soldiers of the heart, okay? examples of the heart and its internal soldiers. I want to move on quickly, so I'm going to try to move on. One should also consider the ritual of circumambulation. Here's the location of the heart, saying where it is. It's on to the left-hand side. When we write, what is it? Two sacred languages, Arabic and Hebrew, are written from the right to the left. So you write towards the heart. Is that clear? This may be true in the sense that it's got something to do with the heart, or it hasn't. Also, when we do the tawaf around the holy Kaaba, you're going anti-clockwise, so your heart is closest to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, which is quite beautiful as a meaning, okay, that you're trying to keep your heart close to the house. And in terms of, the great design in the heart, most of us are aware of these type of things. I mean, the physical heart, which is in itself is matchless, and you won't be able to produce the like of, okay? Even if you look at it on the physical level, okay, which houses the spiritual heart, beats about 100,000 times a day. No battery, Allahu Akbar. Pumping 2 gallons of blood per minute. Go home and pick up a bottle, pick up a gallon of milk, for example. You see, okay, 2 gallons, Allahu Akbar, per minute. This heart, subhanAllah, which, continues to do this, and some people, mashallah, live 100 and over 100 years, subhanAllah. And these are important to know, because you look at the great design of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, you could try, see how many gallons you can pick up, your physical body, in a day. Yet this subhanAllah incredible design, and that's the physical, remember, and the spiritual is much greater. Get it? It's trying to tell you the spiritual is much greater. The type of heights that we can hit, with the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are immense. And then you've got, and it just keeps, it's just mind-boggling. The facts are mind-boggling, mashallah, alhamdulillah. Look at the great design. Subhanallah, the atqana kullu shay. Glory be to God who perfected everything. So this is just to try to get you to think about it. I'm gonna, you can see again, when we look at scientifically how incredible this heart is. These are good things to mention to young people. People who are distant from the religion, just so they get an idea of the great design of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And subhanallah. And the Prophet of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke of the heart as a repository of knowledge and a vessel sensitive to the deeds of the body. He said, for example, that wrongdoing irritates the heart, so the heart actually perceives wrong action. He said, ask your heart, listen to your heart. Istafti qalbak, ask your heart. What does your heart say about this? And people don't listen to their heart enough. They need to listen more. The heart's saying, I shouldn't do that. And what do you do it for? And when you're not sure, you have istikhara to ask Allah for help and so forth. And then you've got sins lead to heedlessness. The person enters a state of spiritual agitation, often tries to suppress it. Here, the root meaning of the word kufr, disbelief, is to cover something up. As it relates to this discussion, the problem we see in our society comes down to covering up or suppressing the symptoms of its troubles. So here, ghafla is very dangerous, not dealing with problems as they should be dealt with. And then you can see there's other agents that also help in making people heedless, and so they distance themselves from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I saw a drunken lady yesterday. Not that I haven't seen people drunk before, but I was fasting and I was walking to this cash point, and it was so incredible just watching somebody drunk. Like, you think, intelligent person, smart person, you get it, and under the influence of alcohol or whatever, some of the things they were saying. And then her friend had to hold her, said, no, don't say that. No, you can't. She's saying, I'm going to beat her up. I can't wait to get to the train. Something I was hearing bits and bobs. Ajib insan. Look at how incredible insan can be, and how, under the influence of some of these things, how that intelligent person has no control and making a mockery of himself or herself and so forth. So here, these things are dangerous, because what they do is they take you away, and they basically, these type of things are opening every door up. All the doors, even the doors that you have control over, you have no control over after that. So these things are very dangerous. Drugs, drink, and so forth, because then the heart is open to attack. Yeah. And And so here, Allah, severed heart, one of the major drawbacks of being severed from the heart is that the more one is severed, the sicker the heart becomes, for the heart needs nourishment. So this is physically. Same way, heedlessness starves the heart, robs it of its spiritual benefit. When one is ghafil, okay, what happens? No exercise. Someone doesn't exercise. After a while, the heart becomes weak. Get it? It becomes sick and so forth. Here, it says now, Ramadan is amazing when it comes up because you're actually keeping the heart alive. Spiritually, you're giving it nourishment. Everyday Quran, dhikr, fasting, sadaqah, exposing yourself, listening to Quran, seeing pious people, being in their company. Okay, you see your heart's alive. I mean, it's good to try to remember what your heart felt like before Ramadan and what it feels like now. I'm quite sure people are going to feel amazing. I remember Friday, I looked at Jummah. Wallahi, it was one of the best moments I've had so far. The whole masjid was shining. Like it wasn't as somebody's polished walls. There was an incredible light emanating from these people who turned up for Jummah. Just like very different to any other Jummah. And you'll feel that, because you're giving life to the heart. If I move quickly, now, the heart needs to breathe. Okay, the heart is an organ designed to be in a state of calm, which is achieved with the dhikr of Allah. And Shaykh Samir has this in his surgery. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. Okay, as you come to visit Shaykh Samir, he has this beautiful little frame up there. Because verily, with the dhikr of Allah, hearts attain tranquility. People are looking for tranquility. They're not. Today, for example, we were looking at the words sakan. Sakan means place where you live. Okay, and you've got in the vowelization, you've got something called sukoon. You have sukoon, zabar, zer, pesh, and a sukoon. Dhamma, fatha, kasra, and sukoon. And sukoon is called sukoon because what do you do to it? You go al. You have no haraka on it. You just go silent on it. And you have the house is called sakan, place where you live, because you hope to find what there? Peace. Yeah, when you go home, you don't want people rattling you up, right? You're supposed to find what sakina. Look, sakina comes from the same root word. So here, ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. If you're looking at something going to help your heart, okay, where does that lie? The dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the greatest dhikr of Allah is the Quran. So if you feel you got heart pain, and you've got a troubled heart, you're perturbed heart, and you're not still, go read some Quran. Go read some Quran. I give an example this morning of somebody I had to deal with, right, who completely off the rails, like could have done anything to anybody. That's how far they were, right? Just completely lost it in Ramadan. Could have killed somebody easily, on that level. This is how offended, whatever they were. And they were trying to help, and this is right. And there was no way back. There was no way of fix the situation. Nobody could help this individual. He wasn't listening to anybody. And then what happened? The person rang me and goes, look, I don't normally read Quran. I started to read the Quran. I opened the Quran up. Because I read the Quran. After 10, 15 minutes, I gave up. Wanted to harm somebody and take revenge, whatever it was, And so it was incredible. What a moment. This is somebody who's ready to pick up a weapon and go for somebody. Nobody could help him. No shaykh, nobody. What helped him? Quran. It's incredible. SubhanAllah. And I think we forget that. We forget what we have. And people are looking for, cure and solutions. They go all over the globe. There's some nasty people out there. Somebody sent me a picture yesterday of a jug full of ta'weez. Somebody had written, to harm somebody. Like, who are you going to go to? Go back to the book of Allah. It is this great month and the great secrets that this month has, right? The greatest one is the Quran. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. And this is the greatest thing that we have. The best food for your heart best nourishment, Al-Quran. Guaranteed. Because the book of God. You see, and so all these people, we hear these stories again and again, people kufr in their heart, read Quran, became Muslim. How? Won't understand it. This is why I leave it to the Lord who created. But you take your share from that holy book. SubhanAllah. So we agreed there's a lot on these slides. I need to jump through them. Okay, I don't want to go through all of them. No, but I'll give you a moment just to sort of look at them, and I want to move on to go to where the focus is. You've got shubuhat, which are doubt matters, shahwat, which are to do with desires and so forth. All of these things are problematic, and so this is where diseases emanate from, disease of the heart, from doubtful matters, okay, and following one's desires and so forth, and these take you away. I wanted to use this beautiful hadith that the reason why the colors are different because I brought it in last minute, okay, and so here in this very famous hadith, okay, which is hadith number 6, the Prophet ﷺ said right at the end, he said halal is clear, haram is clear, that famous hadith, and right at the end he said, verily in every body is a morsel of flesh, piece of meat. If it becomes pure, the whole body becomes pure. And if it becomes sick, the whole body becomes sick. Verily, it is the heart. So here, the heart, okay, becomes sick. Okay. And what's interesting about this hadith is tied and it connected strongly to halal and haram, eating halal and haram, and actions that halal and haram, and staying away from doubtful matters. When I'm not sure whether something is halal or haram, stay away. Why? Because it can harm your spiritual heart. Very, very scary that is. Okay. And remember, he gives the example of the shepherd, you know, who grazes his sheep, and his sheep are grazing on the outskirts or on the edge of his property. And if you leave them, they're going to go to the neighbors, plot of land and so forth. So here, that metaphor is given. So whoever guards himself, whoever falls, so this is the shepherd. So actually, here's the point about ambivalent matters, okay, doubtful matters. And he gives this incredible example. So here, this is very important that you halal and haram and staying away from doubtful matters, protect your heart. One of the key things that the Prophet mentioned. Okay, we mentioned this ayah before. This is a beautiful dua. Okay. Allahumma inni as'aluka qalban salima. So the Prophet actually made dua. Yes, Ya Allah, I ask you for a sound heart. And it's a good place to start. So we know the best thing that you take to Allah on the Day of Judgment, okay, is a sound heart. But then do you ever make dua to Allah? Ya Allah, give me a sound heart. So it's a nice dua to add to your collection already. Allahumma inni as'aluka qalban salima. Okay, a sound heart. Sound heart has no ill feelings against anybody. You get it? You have a beautiful house, family, alhamdulillah for you, mate. You get it? No problem. I have what Allah has decreed for me. Hey, this house I have is Allah's choice and I'm grateful. I have a sick child, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah that I have a child. You get it? Even in its sickness, it brings me great joy. You get it? And so here people are happy. When those who are qalb salim, they're happy with whatever Allah has given to them. And then you've got, the scholars mention 9 things that help to cleanse and purify the heart. This is extracted from Sil 2, this one is. Okay, so anyone who's done Sil 2, they may have seen this. One is reciting Quran with contemplation. This is really important. When we recite Quran, I listened to Shaykh Salman today. I met Shaykh Salman, mashallah, and I googled one of his lectures, and he was talking about the Quran, and he mentioned something really beautiful, because when you read the Quran, you read it with contemplation. You hear a verse, and Allah says, "Have patience," for example. Normally, people turn to somebody in their house. I told you, God said, "Have patience." You don't have patience. Look, you're mentioned here. That's not the way you're supposed to approach the Quran. Somebody wants to benefit from the Quran. You're gonna find Allah's talking to you first. It's not for you to use with others. It's for you. You need to take a lesson from that. Say, Allah saying, have you got patience? You need patience. You know, some people, what do they throw at other people? Look, here you are, you're a hypocrite. Here you are, look, you broke your promise. Okay? Hey, when you read Quran, you're talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you listen to Quran, you're listening to what Allah has to say. You see, and when the beloved is speaking, you don't have time to listen to anybody else. You see, like when the football commentary is on, somebody who loves football, they're able to block everybody out. Yeah, in a noisy living room, suddenly they're so into this, whatever they're into, that they can hear every word. So here, very important, listen, read Quran, contemplate its meanings. Okay, or listen to Quran and contemplate its meanings. Diminishing one's consumption of food. Think, why has Allah given us Ramadan? Because Ramadan, yes, it makes us weak and it makes you tired, right? The children are tired and the adults are tired. I've been teaching since 10 a.m. in the morning. I'm tired, okay? Here, let's just lost the title. I'm tired, really tired. Okay? Here, you get it. But, wallahi, you feel your heart's alive. May Allah give it more life, right? So when you deprive the body, something else benefits. Yeah, and the heart grows from it. So one of the great benefits, one of the ways to grow your heart is to keep it, deprive it from food. This is why it's great practice to have fast on Monday and Thursday. You gotta give life to your heart. So if you're eating your 5 daily fruits and God knows what other stuff you're having, nuts and vegetables and mashallah, which is all good, yeah, with all the vitamin and mineral tablets and so forth, that's fine for the physical heart. What about the spiritual heart? What are you having for the heart that really matters? Because look, the physical you'll take to the graveyard, which is just up there. In the graveyard, it's done, isn't it? Done its job and it's stopped working. But the one we're all gonna take further forward, inshallah, which is gonna be the one that sees and observes the great realities, is the other one. So I'm saying, I need to invest and find ways to keep my heart alive. Protect it from these limbs. Okay? Keep it alive by giving it dhikr, giving it Quran, depriving it of food, because this kills the heart. Night worship. Okay. Now, do you know, Taraweeh prayer is, yes, physically a killer. For some people, they're out of it. But it's so important for the heart. Yeah, you should look at your heart, feel your heart after Taraweeh prayer. There's no way you're going to feel heavy. You know, your body done, but your heart's going to feel amazing. You see, because you've been listening to Quran. And so here, is it worth? It is worth. The 600 rak'ahs that we have coming, mashallah, you know, important. Why? Because it gives life. Then you got tahajjud at suhoor time, for example. Find even a minute or two to go and pray 2 rak'ah nafil, tahajjud, or night prayer. Very important. Why? For the heart. Yeah, I'm eating, yes, but I need to give. This is superfood. This is. Yeah, 2 rak'ahs superfood for the heart. Just 2 rak'ahs even. Yeah, really important. Again, can you see? It's prayer, but prayer at certain times. You see, when you eat at certain times, you benefit so much more. Eating at the wrong times harms your body. So here it gives you growth. And then you're begging Allah in prayer at tahajjud. So there, praying tahajjud and then making dua to Allah, going to a sajda and cry. Talk to Allah, ask Allah for the things that you want. So I had a real problem, right? I needed some help. I thought, Ya Allah, what am I going to do? I rang a friend in Medina. I said, Ya, I've got an issue, man, some help. He says, no worries. Because so-and-so just saw a dream. In his dream, he had the Prophet say to him, do such a thing, and Allah will take care of your needs. So I said, what did he say? He said, pray 2 rak'ah at tahajjud, but read whichever surahs you love. Whichever surahs you love. So I went to pray tahajjud. So what surahs do I love? I asked myself sincerely, I love those surahs, not because they're short. I actually love those surahs. Even at Jummah, I just love Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun. I love it. So here I read it. Wallahi, by the morning, done. Matter resolved. By the morning, 4 hours later. SubhanAllah. These are gifts Allah gives to people, right? Okay. By the morning, done, matter resolved. SubhanAllah. Yeah. I forgot this is on YouTube, isn't it? This is why I don't like YouTube. It's nice when it's personal. Then you go to YouTube. Just about chatting about astaghfirullah, these dreams. Or, maybe keep it away. Keeping the company of the pious, so important. What are you doing in Ramadan? Ramadan allows you to do that. Allah brings them all together in a masjid, okay? They're all praying to Allah. If they're not the pious, who's the pious? Who's the pious? Amongst every congregation, there's going to be some amazing people there. They said no 40 people gather except one of the awliya is there. So when you come for Taraweeh prayer in the masjid, you know you're coming because you want to give life to your heart, and you know you're with people Allah loves. God, they've left their beds, they left their businesses, they left dunya to come and stand and pray to Allah. So we need this company. In Ramadan, it's very important to take advantage of the good company that we have. Gatherings, dhikr, taraweeh, talks, okay? You need, just sit in there. Shoot. You know. Now, I mean, even here in the masjid, it's an amazing feeling. You know, it's house of Allah. What, the dua that you read when you enter the masjid is, Ya Allah, increase my wealth. No? What do you say? Allah maftah li, abwab rahmat. You don't read that dua anywhere else. You say, oh Allah, open the doors of your mercy, not the door of your mercy, the doors of your mercy. If you're looking for rahmah of Allah, you find in the masjid. By the way, if you're looking for trouble, you find it here too. Yeah, some come here for trouble, they find trouble. We're not here for trouble. Yeah, we're not interested in that. We just want rahmatullah. Speaking only about that which concerns one, which is really important. It's not controlling one's tongue. Okay. Distancing oneself from the people of ignorance, okay? Minding one's own business when it comes to other people, and eating halal. You've got what leads to the loss of iman from the heart, okay? Loss of faith, okay? Very dangerous. Mostly it happens to the end of people's life, okay? And sin again is guna. Major sins and minor sins lead to the loss of faith, man. And the scholars have mentioned 27 things. One is corrupt aqidah. Really important to know what you believe about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, you find such great benefit of just going through a book of Aqidah. It helps you as you go along. People have a tribulation in life, they have something challenging in life, and they break down, they lose their Aqidah. Why? Because they don't understand God, they don't understand tribulation, they don't understand how things work. But once you study the basic primer text in Aqidah, you understand how to, interpret things. So here, bad Aqidah, dangerous. Okay. Number 2, weak faith. Okay. Weak iman comes through lack of practice, not establishing your prayers, not reciting Quran. Okay. Not leaving haram leads to weak faith. Where, for example, somebody who can't make a decision: shall I pray? Shall I not? Is that a decision to be made? When it's namaz time, do I need to ask myself, yeah, shall I pray? Shall I not? How can you do that? That's like saying, my son's just walked out the front door. Shall I go out after him or not? There's a busy road there as well. He'll be shaheed. Hey, you're not, mate. You're going to run for your life because you're baby. This is your iman. This is Allah has made this fun. No, quite get up, go and pray. So somebody who can't make that decision, for example, weakness. Weak. How can you not have the willpower to make that decision because you don't understand the importance of it? Misusing one's limbs. One of the shuyukh gave a beautiful example to Shaykh Ali Naqshbandi, Shaykh Ali, the Malaysian Shaykh. So he's got this video where he's talking about Rolexes. He goes, you look at this Rolex, right, and you think, how beautiful. Oh, right? Agreed or not? Those who've got beautiful watches on their arms, you don't look at it. Bangles. Let's talk about the bangles. You think, wah, wah, wah. But you couldn't say wah, wah, wah to the bangles and the watch unless you have a wrist to put it on. So why are you going to the bangles before the one who created the wrist? You should be in awe of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in gratitude to Allah, wah, 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 before the bangles. Because without these limbs, how would you be able to wear these clothes that you are feeling so happy about? So here, not understanding, the power of these limbs. And then you've got these limbs, that the tongue, the eyes, 1, 2, ears, hands, feet, okay? And then you've got, remember, your heart is mentioned amongst the limbs. And then you've got certain things that the are outside the limbs as well, which we'll come to. Loss of faith, absence of tawbah, not making tawbah, not making istighfar, leads to losing iman. Allahu Akbar. Two adhans. Reminds me in Damascus. You're like 10 people calling adhan together. It's nice, enjoy it. This is Damascus adhan. In the Umayyad Masjid group. Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sallam. So corrupt aqidah, weak faith, okay, not practicing your religion, okay, misusing what Allah has given to you, okay, absence of tawbah, okay, this, istighfar or tawbah, which is much greater, repentance, lack of gratitude, okay. This is supposed to be a month of shukr, shukr for iman, shukr for Quran, shukr for the food, shukr for these great, subhanAllah, somebody brought to my attention yesterday, my niece actually mentioned to me, she goes, subhanAllah, I look at one of my somebody in our actually I won't tell you the whole story. One of my we have this group iftar, right? Families get on a Saturday. I go see my parents. We all get together. Everybody's there. My niece goes to me, subhanAllah, because I never used to appreciate these gatherings until the other day when I was working. She's a dentist, right? She goes, one of the people, one of her colleagues who works with her, he said to her, you're so lucky. All these pictures that people put up of group iftar and family get-togethers and so forth. I'm so envious of that. Why? He's Pakistani. He goes, my parents don't fast. My siblings don't fast. They don't get it. He's the only one who has suhoor, sahri all alone, iftari all alone. Nobody to break the roza with. Nobody to start the roza with. She goes, subhanAllah, it was not until he shared that with me that I was able to look at family life. Alhamdulillah for those, the family getting up in the morning and everybody eating parante together and whatever it is, toast and egg and whatever you have. And what a ni'mah. What a ni'mah. Allah have mercy on your mom and people like that, and forgive me, I feel like I have to mention that. Allah have mercy on her. When you lose loved ones, then you think about previous Ramadans or you don't. Allah give them the highest station. How many we've lost over the course of this year? This is why when you look at your parents, you look at your siblings even, look at your children, enjoy these incredible moments. Be grateful for it, because we are so fortunate as an ummah as Muslims, and then also Asians that have this incredible network. You know, so and then it's really important also to reach out to our revert brothers and sisters. You know, because they don't have that network, and they would love to have this. You know, be part of this whole family. I think it's important to reach out, bring them over. You know, allow them to break the fast with you and so forth. Allah bless them and give them the strength. SubhanAllah. False feeling of safety from the wrath of Allah. Some people feel like it's Allah's most kareem. Allah is also just. You know, Allah takes revenge as well. Al-Qahhar. Here, this is their false, net of safety. You get it? No. And this is not good. You know, they won't pull their weight. They won't act. They won't behave. They won't, change because they have this, Allah's all kareem. No, Allah's kareem for sure. But what have you done? You know, where's your love for God? And so here, أَفَأَمِنُوا مَكْرَ اللَّهِ فَلَا يَأْمَنُ مَكْرَ اللَّهِ إِلَّا الْقَوْمُ الْخَاسِرُونَ. Okay, so this is the loser people, al-khasirun, they have this approach. You know, they feel they're safe from the plot of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oppressing people, dhulm. And sometimes people don't realize, this is why it's good to talk to friends and family and siblings, like, if I done anything wrong, you know, help me. They said, don't change this. I don't think your relationship with so-and-so, the way you treat so-and-so is good. You know, don't want to harm anybody. I don't want to do dhulm with my neighbors, with my friends, with my spouse, nobody. I want to be just with everybody. And so here, dhulm is not good. Okay? And وَكَذَلِكَ أَخْذُ رَبِّكَ إِذَا أَخَذَ الْقُرَى وَهِيَ ظَالِمَةٌ إِنَّ أَخْذَهُ أَلِيمٌ شَدِيدٌ. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes revenge from those who oppress other people. So this is again a dangerous thing. Here, what's the most dangerous thing the oppressed possesses? Okay, narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the Prophet said 3 du'as are not rejected. The du'a of the oppressed, the du'a of the traveler, du'a of the father for his son. Okay, parents for their children. Very powerful, good or bad. Yeah, either it's du'a or either la'na or curse. Okay, so go and work and become recipients of du'a and not la'na. Okay, and here the first thing is, remember we said this before as well, du'as even from a kafir. Somebody wrongs a kafir person. Mazloom is mazloom. Somebody's been wronged. Okay, their du'a will hit you. Okay, and then you've got Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad speaking at adhan or iqamah. Okay, it's important to give your ear. Right here, a young lady was sitting here 2-3 weeks ago, exact here, and she heard the adhan, asr adhan, same adhan, asr adhan, and she's interested in Islam. She's not Muslim, and her eyes just welled up. She doesn't know why. Young lady. Okay, afterwards she told me, like, it was the adhan. When I heard the adhan, I don't know what happened to me. Yeah, and so here, something very powerful. Why is that? As soon as your baby's born, what do you do? The adhan and iqamah in the air. Why would you do that to a baby that's just been born? The first thing you want them to hear is the adhan and the iqamah. Something amazingly beautiful spiritually about the adhan. And remember, they use adhans in their treatment of those who are possessed by jinn. It helps to spiritually cleanse people. Okay, so when you hear the adhan, give it your ear, give it your full attention. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And listen to the meaning and allow yourself to hear that. And then disrespect to parents, very dangerous, okay? Very common, but very dangerous, but I must be careful. Excessive qasams. Remember that little video go around about the little boy? You got roza, qasmi, I got roza. So even little kids are saying, qasmi, wallahi, wallahi, wallahi. Go to any park. Kids are not practicing, they've memorized wallahi. Okay, and so here it's not a good thing to hear children taking qasams. No. And leaving ta'deed in salah. This is important now. This is praying in a measured way. Yeah, ruku. So that in the new and Taraweeh prayer doesn't work well. You get it? Because, praying calmly. Ruku. Standing up. Sajdas. Why? Because you're in worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is important, okay? Now, and then you've got ta'deed is in ruku, and after standing from ruku in the 2 sajdas and in between as well. Then you've got loss of faith, taking prayer to be trivial. and not taking it serious, which is connected to irreligiosity, as we mentioned earlier on as well. So salah, salah, salah. This is why we try and get our children on it. Why we know? Because it's the great pillar of Islam. If I get my children praying now, it's one of the best starts I can give them. One of the greatest things I can give to my child. Consuming alcohol, incredibly dangerous, with all other intoxicants. But this one's been mentioned specifically because it's in the Quran as well, and it's very, very, very dangerous for the spiritual heart. Okay, and it's loss of faith and harming Muslims, harming people generally, but people of the same faith, people of the same aqeedah and so forth. There's a greater onus to try to protect each other. Okay, and so this becomes, I have to ask, do I harm my neighbor? In Taraweeh, do I harm people? In Taraweeh prayer, some, harm others. And so here, in school, wherever I happen to be, and finally, false testimony. Okay, there's 27 altogether, but we'll end with this, inshallah ta'ala. And false qasams, when somebody, because false qasam is not a normal qasam. You're actually lying in a qasam. I swear by Allah, but it's not true. And that's what we call an engulfing qasam. What does it do? It engulfs somebody. Engulf means to push something into water, right? Engulfs you into Jahannam. And so in summary is that over the course of the next few weeks, we'll try to look at the sins of the limbs, the sins of the eyes, some of the major sins of the tongue and the hearing and the private parts and the hands and the feet. But all of this is because it's trying to protect the heart. All of these are inroads to this amazing dil, heart that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us, because it is what protects the great reality of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that's what we try to achieve, and Allah knows best if we were successful. Allah accept your coming together here. Jazakumullah khairan for coming out. Sunday afternoon, late in the afternoon, people are tired and so forth. So let's go and pray Salat al-Asr, and we will resume perhaps from this point onwards next week. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. I can end this. Jazakallah khairan.